if you're like me and you bought your wife or your girlfriend an iPhone 4 and then you bought her a Skinomi so that she feels good about not scratching it, you may have ended at the same place as me, which is her asking me to install the Skinomi on the phone for her and me having no clue how to do that. I thought it would be very simple, and I was kind of surprised by how long it took me to figure all this out. The main thing that was confusing to me after opening the package, discovering the spray, reading the instructions, was taking these guys out and trying to figure out where the film actually is. I might be a little more challenged here than most, but this is not the clear film. This is just protection for the part of the body that's not especially scratchable, I guess. This is the film that goes over the screen and the sides of the device that are just brushed aluminum, I guess, or brushed something. At any rate, it took me a very long time to figure out what goes where, and it was kind of embarrassing to realize that actually all the little pieces here are just stuck on roughly in a way that parallels what happens with the phone if you were to just wrap it around the phone, around to the right, around from above, from below, to the left, and so on. It's a little bit hard to see, but I guess if you have it in front of you, you can see that there are a few different pieces here. There's a big center piece, there was a piece here that I already put on, a piece here that I already put on. Now there's another piece on the side here, a little circle piece here, and the one that goes underneath. So I'll show you the setup that I created and some of the troubleshooting that I did. I put a towel underneath my workstation because I constantly dab my fingers in water and then I want to dry them for a bit. I got a little bowl with water. I got their spray, and then I got their various skins and films and whatnot. And of course the phone that I'm going to be working with. They say that you need to keep your fingertips moist when you work with the film so it doesn't stick and you don't leave fingerprints. That makes a lot of sense to me. But since they also say that I need to spray the different pieces of film before putting them on, I decided that I'm going to use water to moisten my fingertips and then just use the spray to spray the film. They say that the content of this are just water and mild detergent, and they say that also it's not toxic if swallowed because it only has water and mild detergent. So I guess it can clean up our inside. I already installed a couple pieces. I'll show you how I install the other ones. I chose to do around first and then do the center ones for no special reason, really. So I moisten my fingertips. Careful not to get any water on the phone. It's new. She will kill me. The fingers are nice and moist. I will take off the next piece that I'm going to work with. Like so. And then spray it. I'm spraying straight down so as not to spray the phone. The spray takes work. You don't just push it a little bit, you push it a lot, and then it sounds exactly like our cat sounds when he sneezes. Smear it around a little bit. Remember which end is the sticky end. In my case it's the end that's facing me, because that's the end that you want against the phone. So I took this piece from the left side, the right side of the screen. So I'm going to apply it on the right, and you can see that there's room where it can be applied. Let's see, where do we want it to go? This seems like a pretty good place for it. In between these two areas. So I'll do that. This takes some precision, but if you miss it, it's okay because you can push it around later on. So it lines up more accurately. This seems about right. This seems about right. So you can see, maybe not. Here's one end and another end that goes right up to here. It's probably going to be hard to see with this camera. I'm checking that it lines up in terms of the sides of the phone. It's pretty good. I'm going to play with it a little bit just so I can mess it up and regret it. Okay, that looks about right. I now realize this is good. I now realize that I installed a piece incorrectly. I put one piece here, a short piece, and actually it should have been here. So I'm going to peel it off and restart the process, which is completely legal. Okay, I think that's pretty good. So now I have one more long piece remaining. I'm just squishing it into place so that it hugs the power button. And on the other side hugs the little drawer that I assume has something to do with the iPhone magic. I'm not an iPhone user, but I do love my wife, and so I want to make sure that this works. So now we have all the pieces all around, so it's time to just do the final pieces. So I'll take the cover off. Skinomi says that you should wipe the phone and make sure that there's no dust and debris and whatever, but since this just came out of the box, I'm hoping that Apple did the work for me before they put on their screen protectors. Spray. Cat sneeze. Cat sneeze. Stick it on the button. This is a good time to remind everyone that Skinomi says there will be micro bubbles. There's some water underneath. There's going to be some bubbles. That's okay. You press them out as best as you can, and what's left is supposed to go away by itself after a little while. This one you can't even see. This is kind of amazing. Okay, and then for the last big piece, they say to squirt both sides of each piece that you put on. So that's good to remember. And now I will try to do a good job. They say, using the installation card, push the excess solution and bubbles away from the center to the edges. Avoid pushing it into cutouts, holes, or buttons. So I guess I'll go this way. Seems to have absolutely no effect. But I'll keep going, just to be optimistic. Maybe I'm not pressing it hard enough, but I don't want to start the scratch test just yet. Okay, there's a little bit of an effect. A tiny bit of fluid is coming out. I wasn't planning on making this movie. I kept looking for movies on YouTube. I was sure that I'll find something if I just type in Skinomi iPhone 4 installation, but I didn't. I only found reviews, people unboxing it and talking about it, and nobody who was actually installing it. So I hope this will be useful to other people, since I know it was a very confusing and very daunting process for me. This is really not terrible, assuming of course that the phone does not explode between now and the time that I upload the movie. It just takes a little bit of time, and you need to be kind of careful. But it's not terrible at all. Okay, so this is done, and I guess the last part is installing the skins that go around everything we've installed so far. I'm actually not very clear about whether I should be spraying and doing all that stuff. I'm gonna guess no. So let's try putting on the carbon fiber skin. Now I have this weird bump here, trying to figure out what to do with it. I'm going to try and push it, roll it to the right and see what happens. There we go, kind of took care of itself. Okay, so this is what we have so far. This is not a perfect or expert installation, but that's me. It's free. That's a bonus. See a couple more kinks, and so I'm smoothing it out. Another little kink at the bottom. Okay, same thing with the back. This is actually nice because I can line it up with the Apple logo. So I'm just going to try and go by the Apple. And that's it. This is the Skinominized iPhone 4. They say now to allow 12 to 24 hours after installation before turning on the device. Well, I clearly didn't do that because the device turned on while I was putting on this stuff because I accidentally pressed the button, but that's life, and hopefully it's not ruined forever. And they say that microbubbles, streaks, and imperfections will disappear within a few days. If only this were true of all of us, that would be great. So there we have it. Hopefully this was helpful for everyone. Skinomi all around, front guard, then the carbon fiber skin. Happy iPhoning, everyone.